What if the biggest cost of buying a car isn't the price on the sticker, but the money you never realize you're giving up? Seriously, think about that for a second. Most people believe that paying cash for a car is the responsible thing to do. No payments, no interest, no debt. Clean and simple, right? But here's what nobody is telling you. There is a number buried inside that cash payment that almost nobody ever calculates. And once you see it, it changes everything. I'm not saying financing is always the answer. I'm not saying go take on a bad loan. What I am saying is that paying cash is not as free as it feels, and most people have never stopped to do the actual math. If you're planning to buy a car in the next few months, you need to watch this video before you do anything. Because the decision you make could quietly cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Not because of a bad deal at the dealership, not because of a scam, but because of something called opportunity cost, and most people have never heard of it in the context of buying a car. By the end of this video, you're going to know the hidden cost most people never calculate. You're going to understand why many financially sharp people don't always pay cash. And there's one specific number we're going to reveal that might completely change how you think about this decision. But before we get there, let's start with what paying cash actually costs you. And I don't mean the sticker price. Let's say you've saved up $40,000. That's real money. That took real time. And you're proud of that, as you should be. Now you walk into the dealership and you write a check. Full amount. Done. You drive home in your car, no monthly payment, and you feel amazing. But here's the question nobody asks you in that moment. What was that $40,000 doing before you spent it? Because money sitting in an account isn't just sitting there, it has the potential to grow. And when you pull it out to pay for a car, that growth stops forever. That money is gone from your financial future. Here's where it gets real. Let's run the actual numbers. Historically, the stock market has averaged around 8% annual return over the long term. Now imagine instead of paying $40,000 in cash for a car, you found a way to finance it, and you kept that $40,000 invested. That's the real cost of pulling that cash out, not $40,000. Potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in future wealth quietly wiped out because of one car purchase. And I want you to really sit with that number for a second, because nobody at the dealership is going to tell you this. The finance manager isn't going to lean across the desk and say, "Hey, before you hand us that check, have you thought about what this $40,000 could become?" That's not their job. Their job is to sell you a car. Understanding the full cost of your decision, that's yours. Now you might be thinking, okay, but the stock market isn't guaranteed. What if it doesn't return 8%? That's a fair point. So let's be conservative. Even at just 6% annually, that same $40,000 grows to around $128,000 over 20 years. Even at 5%, you're looking at roughly $106,000. That's still 2.5 times your original money, all from simply keeping it invested instead of handing it to a dealership in one lump sum. But that's not even the expensive part. Stay with me, because there's something else happening at the exact same time. While your money could be growing in one direction, your car is doing the opposite. The moment you drive off that lot, your car starts losing value. That's just the nature of vehicles. In the first year alone, most cars lose somewhere between 15% and 25% of their value. By year 5, many are worth less than half of what you paid. So here's what's happening in parallel. Your invested money would be compounding upward and your car's value is declining downward. Imagine you see these two lines on a chart, one going up, one going down. That gap between them, that's the full financial picture of paying cash that almost nobody ever draws out. And this is where the hidden cost finally shows up. Because most people only see the car. They never see the gap. There's another problem with locking all your cash into a depreciating asset, and it's one that can genuinely hurt you when life gets unpredictable. Think about this. What happens if 6 months after you buy that car, you lose your job? Or your roof caves in? Or a medical bill shows up that you weren't expecting? Or, and this is a big one, what if a major investment opportunity lands in your lap and you have no cash to act on it? The money inside your car is essentially frozen. It's not liquid. You can't just pull $10,000 out of your car to handle an emergency. You'd have to sell it, or take a loan against it, and now you've added stress, time, and cost to an already difficult situation. When you pay cash for a car, you haven't just bought a car. You've traded your financial flexibility for a piece of metal that loses value every single day. Think about what that actually means in practice. You work hard for years, you save $40,000, you feel financially secure, and then in one afternoon at a dealership, that security gets locked inside a depreciating asset that you can't tap without jumping through hoops. A lot of people call that being responsible. But is it, or is it just the version of responsible that everyone around you told you to believe? There's a real difference between being debt-free and being financially free. You can have zero car payments and still be completely cash-strapped. That's the trap. And most people don't realize they've stepped into it until life throws something unexpected at them. And here's the thing, we haven't even talked about what happens when the financing numbers actually work in your favor. That's coming. But first, if you're the type of person who wants every dollar working harder for you instead of quietly disappearing without you even noticing, hit subscribe right now. Because that's exactly what this channel is built for. We break down the financial decisions most people are making on autopilot so you can make them with intention instead. Okay, now here's the part of this conversation that actually requires some nuance because I'm not here to tell you debt is always smart. It's not. And I'm not here to say financing is always the right move. It isn't. What I am saying is this: the math matters. And right now, most people skip the math entirely. Here's how to actually think about this decision. Ask yourself one simple question: can my money realistically earn more than what the loan is costing me? Let's say you qualify for an auto loan at 5% interest, and you believe you can earn 8% annually by keeping that $40,000 invested. The spread there is 3%. On $40,000, that 3% difference is $1,200 a year, and over time, thanks to compounding, that gap widens significantly. Now flip it. If you're being offered a 12% loan because your credit isn't great and the market is only averaging 7%, the math doesn't work. In that case, paying more cash up front or paying it off faster likely makes more sense. This isn't about being anti-cash or pro-debt. It's about running the actual numbers before you make a $40,000 decision on instinct alone. And here's something worth knowing. The financially sharpest people in the room aren't the ones who always pay cash. They're the ones who ask, what does the math actually say, before they make a move. Sometimes the math says pay cash, sometimes it says finance, but they never skip the question. Most people do. So before your next car purchase, sit down with your actual numbers. What interest rate are you being offered? What can your money realistically earn? What does your emergency fund look like after the purchase? These aren't complicated questions, but they are the ones that separate people who build wealth from people who feel like they're always starting over. And here's the number I promised you at the beginning, the one that most people never calculate. Imagine you're 35 years old. You've just decided to pay $40,000 cash for a car instead of financing it. Let's say you had the option to invest that money at an average 8% annual return. Over the next 30 years, which takes you to a normal retirement age, that $40,000 grows to over $400,000. That's the real price of the car, not $40,000, $400,000. Now, does that mean you should never pay cash for a car? No. If financing rates are high, if you're debt-averse for mental health reasons, if you don't have a reliable investment strategy, those are all valid factors. The right decision depends on your full financial picture. But here's what I want you to walk away with. Every financial decision has a price tag you can see and a price tag you can't. The sticker price is the one everyone focuses on. The opportunity cost is the one that shapes your financial future. Most people walk into a dealership thinking about the monthly payment or the sticker price. The financially sharp ones are thinking about what that money could do instead and whether the loan terms actually make the math work in their favor. Next time you're sitting across from a finance manager and they're offering you a loan, don't just ask what the monthly payment is. Ask yourself, what's the real cost of pulling this cash out of my future? Because the car you drive says something about where you are, but the wealth you build says everything about where you're going.